There's cash, but increasingly it's not worth the paper it's printed on. The Syrian pound has lost half its value since the uprising started.
There's no economy in Syria. Trade is coming to a halt. There's no cash around.
At this wholesale produce market, there's only a quarter of the usual quantities of fruit and vegetables for sale. Food prices have tripled and the cost of transporting food has doubled. But the problems are now running even deeper. The centralized system that buys food is no longer working.
We've suspended selling our produce to the government because they haven't paid us yet for the wheat crop from 2 months ago.
This fertile region in Aleppo province is known as Syria's breadbasket, but it's hot here. The crops need irrigation, irrigation needs fuel, and fuel prices are 5 times higher than 1 year ago. Farmers now have little or no income for fertilizers or pesticides, and most petrol stations have no fuel to sell. Across town, the small industrial businesses have been lying idle for the past 5 months.
We can't buy basic supplies from Aleppo. All factories in Aleppo are closed. Aleppo is collapsing.
And in the past 2 months, there's another sign the system is falling apart. State employees are no longer receiving their government salaries. Even retired people have not been paid their pensions, this pharmacist tells me. He's been extending lines of credit to families who need life-saving medicines. But now his shelves are emptying, a consequence of sanctions, distribution problems and power cuts.
For 5 months we've been suffering from shortages of medicine and drugs. Even though we put some in storage, we used up all that stock because we are not able to store large quantities.
Syrians, it's reported, kept $29 billion in Syria's banks before the uprising, but that's reported to have shrunk by at least a third. According to this Syria specialist, the economy is now on the edge.
Syrians are being forced to sell their cars, their land, any property or other assets they have simply to survive, and that can't sustain itself. It's probably weeks and months away from total collapse.
Syria won't starve. This is a country with a strong agricultural base, strong community ties and charity. But the longer the war goes on, the more ordinary Syrians will feel the heat. Anita McNaught, Al Jazeera, Aleppo province.